landed here, and guess who landed next to us? Donald Trump. Oh my God, that's huge.
I'm for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him mama.
Came to a shopping center, guys, into a costume store. This is where I'm gonna go in as Saygin and probably come out different. How's this? How's this? How's this? That's it. So what we want to do is, I want to actually... Now we tried the costume store, but we realized actually you don't need to dress up or dress down. Anybody could be homeless. That was a good learning actually. We realized doing good now, but any day you could just be homeless. So I'm not gonna dress down. I'm just gonna be like this. I mean, it's not. I'm not really dressed fancy anyway. So yeah. Guys, we made it back into the hotel, and you know, I thought I'll talk about business because you know it's not all about lifestyle, and I want you to get something out of this video which you can take home. And it is important actually for you to choose the right business model, because there's a lot of business models, sometimes just side hustles, where you might say, oh, I could make a profit here, but is it really the right business model? Let me show you how you can find the right business for you. First of all, I start with two different types of profit. One is called the economic profit, and the other one is called the accounting profit. I'm not going to go into details, but let me explain. An accounting profit is the type of profit you probably know. You have more income than expenses, so you can pay off everybody and something is left for you as a shareholder. It's kind of the accounting profit in layman terms. But there's also something called the economic profit. Let's say you have a job, okay? And that job pays you $50,000 a year. Now you say, you know what, I'm gonna quit and I'm going to start my own business. And your own business kind of leaves you a profit per year of $40,000. So technically you have an accounting profit, but if you look at it from a holistic point of view, you actually have negative economic profit. Because if you stayed in your job, you would have made more money. So the economic profit is negative. So why is this important? Because let's say you're choosing a business model that a lot of people are going into. Here's an example. You're selling, let's say you're selling trees, okay? I don't know. Can somebody tell? Yeah, you're selling trees, okay? And there is demand for these trees. Let's say there's 1,000 people who want these trees. And there are 100 companies that deliver these trees. So you might know that supply and demand actually decides what the price of your products are. So if there is a lot of demand and little supply, prices go up. So if there's less demand, prices go down. So if there is a lot of supply and less demand, prices go down. So now there is a certain situation in the market where businesses are offering trees. So the price is, let's say, $100 per tree. Now, the more businesses enter this model, so more businesses selling trees, and the demand remains the same, then the prices will continue to drop because everybody will have this race to the bottom. They will actually demand less for their trees so they can sell. And it will get to a point where the prices are so low that none of these businesses can survive. So some of them will actually go out of business, and less businesses will exist that actually supply the market. Which businesses do you believe actually survive long term? Is it the ones that have the lowest margins and they can kind of live just making ends meet? No, it is a business that has something called defensibility. They can protect their business with two things mostly. There are many weapons of defense, but two of them are very, very strong. One is a brand, for example. There are many brands, luxury brands, for example, they live off that. But a brand can also be damaged overnight. You could have a scandal and suddenly your brand is kind of hated. So it's very strong, but at the same time, it's fragile. So you have to protect your brand with everything you have, especially if you're, for example, a luxury brand that really needs it. Because rationally speaking, a handbag, let's say an example, a quality handbag should not cost more than a few $100s maybe in production. And the rest is the perceived quality, the brand, the goodwill of the brand that makes you pay $10,000 or even more. So it's very, very valuable for, I would say, emotional buying decisions. Now, and another one is called. And one more thing, guys, I think you will be really grateful for hearing this before you start a business. It's what I call the invisible handcuffs, right? Some countries, they have very strict tax regulations, and you might want to talk to a tax consultant before you start the business. For example, let's say you live in a country somewhere in Europe and there's a high tax rate, and you start your business, and then this business grows, right? And you say, okay, that's a great business. I would like to move out. I would like to move somewhere else where there's a lower tax rate. And me personally, I don't want to pay that much personal tax, but the company can remain there. The minute you want to move out, the government says, can't move out. Why? Pay us taxes. And you might say, well, I paid already all my taxes. Well, no. The government will assume that you have sold your business for a very high value they actually come up with, even though you haven't sold your business. So you don't have the cash, but it has a fictitious value. And then they will tax you on that fictitious value. Even if you don't have the cash, you have to pay the tax before you're allowed to change your residency. Because your company might have been worth 0 when you started, and 2 or 3 years ago it might be worth 5 million on paper because some investors put money into it, or it's generating some profits, but not 5 million. But the government will assume that you've sold your business the minute you want to change your residency and move somewhere else. So it's a tip, I'm telling you, because taxes make a huge difference for your personal life. Now, obviously, taxes make sense because you need them to pay your infrastructure. You need them to pay the police, the military. We get it. But for you to personally optimize your situation, talk to a tax consultant. I'll show you an example. Let's sit here. Let's say you start a business. In the first year, you make $1 in profit. And you double this every year. After 20 times of doubling, you will have $1,048,000. $1 on the first day, $2 on the second day, $4 on the third day, and so on. So after 20 doublings, you're at $1,048,000. If it's in a tax-free country, that's your money. Now, what happens? How much would you have if there was a 25% tax rate on your profits? What do you think? After 20 doublings, with 25% tax rate. You might say, well, around 750,000 because they took 25%. Wrong. You would have $72,500 approximately. You would have been taxed 97% of what you've actually made after 20 doublings on the 21st day. Choose your tax regime wisely. High income tax country pretty much can take away all of your earnings. It's not 25% or 50% of your income. It's way more. Okay, we are here in Wynwood, Miami, one of the nicest areas, I must say, that has developed in the past few years. It's amazing because you have all these bars and restaurants here. And yeah, check this out. It is so different, right? It feels cozy, I feel. And it's artsy. Check this out. Look. You have all these buildings that are kind of painted on. There's like artists everywhere. If you look at this huge building, for example, just turn around, check this out. It's just paintings everywhere. And My brother Lex actually has a place here called Made in New York. So we're gonna have some lunch.
So, Saygin, what was the worst piece of advice you received?
Oh, I know a few one. I think the worst, most common advice is just believe in yourself and everything will happen the way you want. That's what lazy people say. It's like saying hard work will make you rich. If hard work would make you rich, then all our parents and grandparents would all have been rich. They worked hard.
What was the best advice you ever received?
Keep your promises. How many people do you know that actually keep their promises? Those people, their words are heavy. They count. And they're very careful of what they say. They don't overpromise. But when they do give you their word, you believe it. They don't talk too much. But when they do, you believe it. Miami Beach. But it's crazy. Like this morning, I almost had a sunburn. And now it's raining. And I think in like 10 minutes, I'm gonna get a sunburn again. It's crazy. Guys, you might not know, I used to go to a shooting club to learn how to shoot. And now here in Miami, and actually in the US, you can just go to shooting ranges and shoot these big machine guns. So, obviously, don't shoot at anybody else. Come to controlled areas. And now we're gonna do this. We're gonna try some of these guns. And you know, I'll tell you something. I stopped shooting like when I was a teenager because my eyes got worse. So it was better for everybody around.
What about you, Lex? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Lock and load.
He's dead, right?
It's going to be a long-range rifle here. The bullet you're shooting is significantly larger, even bigger than that AK round. You got 308, all right?
Okay.
Also known as 7.62 by 51. Now, the gun itself is designed pretty much as an automatic sniper rifle. So you're able to reach between 800 to 1,200 meters. Woo. And like I mentioned, the U.S. Navy SEALs use this. And SEALs are always underwater. So the reason they got this firearm is because it's a closed piston-driven system. So they're actually able, with this part closed, they can submerge this underwater, whether it's fresh or salt water, doesn't matter. Won't deteriorate the firearm at all. Swim around, pop up, engage in fire, and jump back in and disappear like they were ghosts, all right?
Game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First with the female, now I want the bench. Spending all the dollars, here I go again. Outside says chirp, now the camera phone. Told you.
This is the best. This is our biggest gun here with the biggest round there. Woo. So this is your 50 BMG. This is the Barrett M95. Now this is designed to take out armored vehicles.
Who wanna do this?
Ready?
Let's go!
Woo! My ears.
How was it?
I hear little bit less than before. Yo, who wants to do next?
Let's go on.
Yo! Ready?
Go.
Lock and loaded! That's just not fair. That shit is not fair. That's crazy. Oh my God. Oh Lord, that shit was crazy. Oh my God, I'm going outside. Otherwise, it would look like. Yo, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yo, that's 50 caliber, right?
Oh my God.
50 caliber and 5,000 calories.
Man punched in the face.
Whoa, but I hit it, right? Whoa, I actually hit it here. I'm an official sniper rifle 50 caliber RMG sniper. Bro, like the others were sick, but this was mad.
Crazy. That's crazy.
This actually goes through this thick of steel, and it could actually still hit this. This is actually me?
Yeah.
Did I hit the bullseye or no?
No, you got the edge of it. So the center of that would have been the bullseye.
Look at this, how close I got. All right, guys, that was sick. Like the last one was so heavy, like for a few seconds I stopped hearing, and also you could feel the whole gun kind of pushing you, and you saw the fires coming out. It's insane. Don't try this at home. Come to controlled environments like gun shops or gun ranges in the US. I don't know if you have it in your country. It's fun, but you have to be very, very careful. My learning from going to a gun range is, first of all, it reinforces how bad wars are. I mean, I was on the other side of the gun. Imagine you on the other side of the gun, kind of getting hit. War is the worst thing. It's one of those lose-lose scenarios because where there's no winner. It is amazing, excruciating. It hurts. It makes you sweat. It stinks. It's first of all, being a soldier is must be like a crazy job. Like it's hard, and at the same time, you know, it made me understand that what I don't want to do. Wars are bad, guys. Guns are bad.